Hello everyone, this is Shilpa Kidyur and welcome to today's episode of Her Club True Stories. And today we have Geet Rao from Chandigarh who's joining us to talk about her story, her journey with her venture. Geet Rao is a mom of two, a founder of Pet Kitchen with Geet Rao. She is from Chandigarh and she is a pet nutritionist as well as a dog food curator. Welcome to our platform, Geet. Thank you for taking our time today, to talk to us about your venture as well as sharing what made you start up your venture. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Geet, before we understand about your venture, let us understand, you, the woman behind your awesome venture, Pet Kitchen. So can we know a little about you?
Yes, of course. So I'm Geet Rao and I am an animal lover. I've always been an animal lover, and I've always thought of having a venture of my own. I have done jobs before this, but I never really intended to be in a job. I always wanted badly to have a venture of my own. And I am a chartered accountant, although by education, and I hold an MBA in finance. And I've worked with TCS and I've worked with McKinsey and Company before. But then I got married in Chandigarh and there were not job opportunities like that over here. So I was still trying to find out what I could do. And in the meanwhile, I joined my husband in his business as well. And but it's been a long journey of say about 4 years into my marriage that I discovered my passion, or you could say I discovered an opportunity in Pet Kitchen, and that's when I started it about 4 years back.
Okay. So how did this idea of Pet Kitchen come to you?
Well, the inspiration was my very own dog, Drago. So Drago was my husband's pet, and when I got married instantly, because I'm a dog lover, he became my pet as well. But Drago always used to have a lot of health issues. He would have a skin tumor, he had skin issues, he had hip dysplasia, he had hip joint problems, arthritis, and so on. And I visited a lot of vets, and I was quite sick and tired of actually visiting vets in different cities. I took him across cities to different vets, took opinions, whatnot I did, and Drago was not getting any relief, especially with his skin problems. So I went on to my own journey. I started researching, and I realized that I fixed his skin completely with diet. Then I fixed his joint problems through his diet, and his tumors through a home regimen where I did not need to go to the doctor again and again. I could simply manage his ear tumor at home with simple, home remedies and natural things that you can easily find at home, or maybe at the most with a visit to the chemist. So, and then I realized that a lot of my friends, because most of my friends also have dogs, their dogs were also suffering from these issues, some issue or the other, and I would have come across some solution or the other through my research. So I would suggest some changes to them, and their dogs also recovered. So then I realized that dog nutrition is totally unexplored, and people are not aware about it, and dogs are suffering because of lack of knowledge. So this is where my interest in this field began.
Okay, professionally.
So I started Pet Kitchen about 4 years back. It did not start as a startup. So I had just studied pet nutrition as a subject, and I had no idea what to do. I had just studied it because I was really enjoying, and I was really enjoying it when I was reading on dog nutrition for my own dogs, and I was seeing the results. And then people in my community, in my vicinity, would started coming to me with their dog problems, and I would help them, and then I would ask them, so did it work? And they would say, oh yeah, it did work. So I was like, all right, it worked. Okay, then that then I was actually expecting my daughter, and I did not know what to do because I was on rest. So I thought that, okay, this is the best time to study, and I started studying through a distance learning course. I
Okay.
started learning pet nutrition, and once I did that, then I had no idea how to uh, put this knowledge to people. At the same time, I really wanted to do it. So I thought of making a dog cookery show, and which is why the name is Pet Kitchen, because it started as a dog cookery show.
Yeah.
And my husband shot the first cookery show on our phone, and I just made a recipe, and we put that video. I made a YouTube channel which is still there, called Pet Kitchen with Geet Rao. And then started making videos, and still then I had no idea. Okay, now I'm making the videos, but now what? So then I thought of there was a veterinarian to whom I used to take my dogs to. I spoke to him about it, and Dr. Kocher, he's a very good doctor, and he was so happy to know about this, and he encouraged me, and he said, okay, why not you come to my clinic and you help us with our dog patients? So I would go there. I would suggest diet for his patients, and even for pet parents visiting his shop or clinic for things, I would tell them that, okay, I'm a pet nutritionist, I'm here, and I would love to give a diet plan for your dog. And I would tell them, I'm not going to charge anything, I just want to give a diet plan to you for
Okay.
your dog, because it will be really good for your dog, but people didn't want it.
Okay. Okay.
So I was there at his clinic for like few months, and no work, and I would just say hello to the doctor, and I would just spend some time at the clinic. But then gradually I did get some people who were interested, and that's how it started. Started doing these days is that I do quick tips. I record quick tips on dog nutrition, and I put them on my Instagram handle. So I do mythbusters, I do quick tips on dog and cat nutrition, and
Yeah.
I think it's going well. People watch them, and the response that I've got is good.
Okay. Okay. Because whenever you start out something, people are really hesitant to take advice. Even when you
Yes.
say that you are a nutritionist, people got
Yes.
hesitant to take advice. So how difficult it is to convince them.
It is. That was my challenge.
Yeah.
But now things are changing now. Pet parents are also becoming more knowledgeable, more aware, and they want good solutions for their pets' health problems.
Correct, correct. Yeah. So it is not always, that you pop in some pills, and it is the same with us humans as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Food is medicine.
Yes, yes. The right food is the right medicine. Yes. What are your offerings at Pet Kitchen?
My first and foremost is the diet consultations that I do for dogs, individual dogs. So pet parents approach me either for their dog or a cat, and then I also do corporate consultations where we help dog food startups or dog food companies. We help them design or redesign their recipe food or their treats. For example, they want a vegetarian recipe or a non-vegetarian recipe. Some corporates have a requirement for some new meat. So I help them balance their recipes and design balanced recipes for dogs or cats.
Okay.
And thirdly, I do have some nutritional products as well.
Okay.
So, but I do fun products for dogs as well, such as dog ice cream, dog birthday cakes, and cupcakes, and I
Oh,
even do a dog jelly, like we do it
okay.
for our kids, Jello. So I
Yes.
have a dog version for Jello.
Wow. Good to know that actually. You know. Also, you have been in the corporate sector, and now you are an entrepreneur. Uh,
Yes.
what is the best part that you love being an entrepreneur?
What I love best about being an entrepreneur is that I am the boss of my own time. So I think I love the time flexibility that I have, because there's no fixed schedule that I have to work at this time or that time. So I love the time flexibility. And the other thing that I love about is that it gives me an opportunity to work from home, which I really value being a mother. So these are the two things that I love being about being an entrepreneur.
Okay. And what is your USP?
USP is that Pet Kitchen is very customizable,
Okay.
and it is, I mean, all the products that we do, they are made customized to the needs of the dog. So people can come up and they can ask me about what would suit their dog the best. So although we do have about 5 products listed in our catalog, but apart from this, we do customized products specifically for the dog's need as well. So for example, if there is a diabetic dog, so we make low glycemic index treats for that dog. If there is a dog with a liver problem, we would select the specific ingredients for that and do that. So the customizability is my USP. And another thing is that I am a dog dietitian, so I'm quite aware of how to balance the food as well as the treats of a dog. So specialized advice is another thing that I would say Pet Kitchen's USP.
Is it okay? Okay. So what would be? I know you have had a rough start. Convincing people to believe that even pets need nutrition. So what would your best achievement be so far?
Well, there have been 2 of them. So one was a dog who was pooping blood since 2 years,
Oh,
and he had an internal checkup, everything, but the vet couldn't find the reason. So, but with the right diet, we were able to manage that dog within like 3 to 4 days of a diet. So that
oh,
was an achievement for me. And another one
really?
was, yes.
I mean, I can't
So another,
believe this. For 2 years, the dog suffered, and within 3 to 4 days. I mean, if nutrition is so important, why is there so much ignorance about it? What do you think?
yes,
Is there so much
absolutely,
ignorance?
absolutely, absolutely. And it was nothing. It was just, irritable bowel syndrome that the dog was having, and probably the vet was not able to discover. And such things, they are, repaired through diet only.
Uh,
But it was pretty easy to manage, and I was so happy that the dog is happy and fine, and the pet owners are fine now, because I can imagine the agony that the pet parent goes through if the
yeah,
pet is going through something like that. And my another very like good success that I feel happy about was a dog from the Philippines, and that dog was having skin rashes, and he was not a very healthy dog as per the dog's parents, uh, from the time he ever came to the parents. But through a mixture of herbs, and as I shared with you, I do Ayurveda. I sent them Ayurvedic medicines from India for the dog, and that dog completely recovered from his rashes. Earlier, he was on steroids and antibiotics, so he recovered from that. So, these two chronic cases were my best achievements.
yeah. I think you are a lifesaver. I feel somehow. You save lives for it's such innocent pets. They are like kids who need
Yes, they are.
proper nutrition. Rather than just injections or pills or a doctor's visit. Yeah.
Yes, and it's also about body balancing. It's not just about nutrition. So, for example, there are people who would eat kidney beans and say, all sorts of legumes and be fine. But there are people who cannot digest kidney beans and such kind of legumes because they get bloated. So, there is no one solution for each one of us. It has to be customized according to our body, according to what suits our body. So it's the same case with dogs. It's about body balancing. We have to set the body in a state of homeostasis. We have to put the body back in a state of balance. And that happens through the administration of right foods. And you can know the right foods only when you know the dog. So you have to have a thorough conversation with the pet parent about the dog or the cat.
Okay. Okay. So that is what, when you say consultation, you have a thorough word with the pet parents and then you consult. Okay. You prescribe
Yes,
the
yes,
diet.
yes. I take a thorough detail of what the dog has been eating, what any health problems he's ever had. If they have any blood reports, then I take a look at that. Whatever health problems the dog has had till now, I would any allergies. I take a thorough history of the dog. It helps me understand the dog.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. So, let's come to, the most important part, your motherhood. You're a mom of two.
Yes.
How do you balance, running a startup and balancing motherhood? How do you do that?
Yeah, so I think my organizer is my biggest savior. So
Okay.
every night before I sleep, I write down all my tasks and my kids' stuff, whatever I have to, because homeschooling is happening these days because of
Yes.
COVID. So whatever I have to do with my kids, it's all up on my working table at night once I've made my kids sleep. So I know my targets, what I have to do, what in the morning. And I have everything jotted down as regards to pet kitchen also. And that sort of gives me, a, an ability to plan myself. And once I'm planned, so then it's okay, then I can manage. But yeah, the family support that I have is very important because I'm in a joint family. So my kids have company. I do not always have to worry about what are they going to do in their free time. So a joint family support system that I have, I am really lucky for that. So
Okay.
that is very much helpful.
Okay, okay. It is
Yeah.
always said, you are a CA, you have done your MBA, and you worked in a corporate scenario, and then you took a few years of break to understand what actually you like, and you started with Pet Kitchen. Did you any time face opinionated people wherein they said that, since you are a CA, you should be doing something related to that field, and what is this that
Yes,
you're coming up with?
yes,
Yeah, and
yes,
how do
all
you
the
deal
time.
with it? How do you deal with such opinionated people?
I just smile. Yeah,
Okay.
I get that now also,
Yes.
but then I just don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love this a lot because with dogs it just doesn't feel like work discussing a dog, thinking about a dog, and figuring out what suits a dog. Anyways, I love dogs. So and when a dog gets fine, the happiness that I get, it can't be compared to me sitting with big fat books of accounts and going through a balance sheet or something like
Yeah,
that.
I can imagine that. You cited two examples, and I
Yeah.
picture you being so happy and the pet being so happy, well and fine, running up and down.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Also,
I enjoy making
sorry.
the cookies and I enjoy making the products for the dogs so much.
Okay.
I do have my staff, but many times I just put them on a side and I tell them I have, this time I'm going to be baking all the cookies. I'm doing it today, or so I just get into the middle and I start doing it because I really enjoy it.
Yes, yes. That is the bottom line today.
Yes,
More importantly, that you
yes,
should be happy in whatever you do.
yes, absolutely.
Okay, so also there is a saying that as a woman or as a mother, you have just your family or your career. So what is your take on it?
It is very challenging, I think, as a mother, especially when our kids are small, because you're having those sleepless nights, and especially when your kids, are also on mother's feed. So it takes a toll on you physically as well as emotionally, because when you're working and when you're not with your child, I would have my guilt trips. So but I think it's all about having the grit in you. And sometimes, I mean, we have to convince ourselves. I do that even now. So I have two daughters. My younger one is only one year and 4 months old. So I do get my guilt trips even now, but then I have to tell myself, okay, but this is, a decision time. Either I have only one thing or I have both. So some sort of compromise sometimes happens on the kids front. And obviously, the potential that I feel that I have for my pet kitchen, I'm not able to explore it completely right now, but I feel that I would be able to do it maybe 3 4 years down the line.
Yeah.
But it's very subjective. It's very subjective. It totally depends on the kind of person you are. So for me, for I did not start my venture until 2 years of my first daughter, because I felt that I had to give her time and she was my priority. But over a period of time, I have evolved as a person, and with my second daughter, I'm a little more relaxed, and I feel that yes, I could do it, and I can spare out some time. So it totally depends on the person, the individual mother.
Okay. And what is the best advice as a mother or as a woman that you have got so far?
There should be no guilt.
It is so
But
difficult.
yeah,
That is so
it
difficult.
is.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we need to set ourselves free from the guilt of not being present everywhere all the time.
Yes, that is so important.
Yes, because it just can't be. So we have to prioritize and then just go with the flow.
Exactly. Yeah. So, lastly, I would want to ask you, your advice to women who are toying with this idea in their mind and, going back and forth about deciding whether to start off, not start off, whether it is better for them, not better for them. So, what would your advice be now that you're an
See,
entrepreneur yourself?
I only started the way I felt I was comfortable. I never went beyond my comfort zone. So I was not comfortable in leaving my kids for a long time every day alone. So I never opted for something like that. So, for example, I started Pet Kitchen. So dog food was a big opportunity when I started Pet Kitchen, and it still is. There are so many dog food startups. Although I thought many times that maybe I should get into it, but I never got into it because it would have been a huge time commitment for me.
Yes.
So I started with something like dog treats, because I thought dog treats would not be an urgency for dogs, whereas dog food would be. If I'm supplying dog food, say, to some dogs, they have to get their food on time.
Yes.
So this is what so you have to work out your ways. So this is what I thought, and began with products which I thought would not make me push my limits. So even now, so I think we have to find our comfort zone, and we have to remain in that comfort zone of motherhood also. I think pushing the limits too hard is not a great idea.
Yes.
And one has to be patient, and with slowly, slowly everything happens. So I can see my pet kitchen growing um, with a small start as well. So it's I'm quite busy with my consultancy works and with products as well, and I'm pretty happy with it. And I can see a good future in it as well. But at the same time, it's helping me develop some experience, learning about the market, about my customers. And I think when I'll be ready to go with a big bang, I would have a lot of experience at hand,
Yes.
and a lot of time at hand as well.
Yeah, exactly. So the key, I think, is, to start small, start
Yes.
as per your convenience, but start up. You never know what the next day
Start
is
up.
about. Yeah. So you figure it out
Yes.
along the way, but the most important thing is to, not sit with the idea, but to start up small, even,
So when
balance.
I so Yeah, when I started, it used to be frustrating for me because I thought, okay, I have a product, I have a service, but there's no one to to
Yes.
come up and take it. And I would wait for my 2 3 customers that I began with in the beginning for them to come back. and order my dog's treats. But now my treats are made every day. Sometimes I have to make them in 2 shifts. So it happens, and
Yes.
it's going good. But yeah, I think one has to be happy with the slow pace. With
Yes.
entrepreneurs, especially, we need patience.
Exactly. Yeah, rightly said. So, thank you, Geet, for talking to us today and sharing your journey as well as your story. For pet parents who want to get in touch with Geet, she's on Instagram at Pet Kitchen with Geet Rao, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
women entrepreneurs who want to get inspired listening to stories like these, please share and subscribe to Her Club True Stories. We are on YouTube as well as on Instagram.